Don't go in. These aren't just your average caves. They're eerie places where restless spirits linger. Get ready to dive into the most haunted caves in America. And trust me, stepping inside could be the biggest mistake of your life. Let's start with the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee. Back in the early 1800s, the Bell family claimed they were cursed by a witch named Kate. This wasn't your average ghost story. Kate tormented the family for years, with whispers in the night, chairs flying across rooms, and choking fits that left them gasping for air. Back in the early 1800s, the Bell family found themselves in a real-life horror story, claiming they were cursed by a witch named Kate. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill ghost tale, you know? Kate made their lives a living nightmare, tormenting them with eerie whispers in the dead of night, chairs that seemed to have a mind of their own, flying across rooms, and choking fits that left them gasping for breath. Can you imagine that? But wait, it gets even creepier. After the haunting on the Bell farm finally ended, locals were convinced that the witch hadn't really left. She just found a new home in a nearby cave. Kids in the area started daring each other to venture inside. Some came back looking like they'd seen a ghost, pale and silent, refusing to spill the beans on what they'd encountered. You might think it's all just wild stories, right? Well, fast forward to today, and visitors to the cave report feeling icy, invisible hands grabbing at their ankles in the pitch-black darkness. Flashlights and cameras mysteriously die out, leaving people in total darkness, which is just plain terrifying. And the most bone-chilling incident? In 1977, a TV reporter tried to debunk the legend. Minutes later, he bolted out, screaming like he'd seen a ghost, leaving all his gear behind. To this day, he hasn't said a word about what he experienced in there. What do you think happened? Now, let's head to Ohio, where deep in the woods, far from any living town, lies the Moonville Tunnel. It's a single train tunnel from the 1800s, once used by miners, now swallowed up by nature. But something's still there, waiting in the shadows. This is no ordinary train tunnel. It's a relic from the 1800s, once bustling with miners and now slowly being reclaimed by nature. But here's the twist, something's still hanging around in the shadows. They call him the Ghost Brakeman. Legend has it that he was a railroad worker who met a tragic end in a midnight accident, crushed under the wheels of a train. But guess what? Even death didn't stop him from doing his job. Witnesses claim his spirit still roams the tunnel, swinging a ghostly lantern to warn trains that will never come again. Can you imagine that? Hikers have reported seeing a faint light swaying in the distance, but when they try to get closer, poof, it vanishes into thin air. It's like a scene straight out of a spooky movie, right? One winter night, a group of campers was chilling in their tents when they heard heavy footsteps circling around. But come morning, the fresh snow showed no footprints at all. How eerie is that? And here's a local tip. If you see the lantern light, don't follow it. It's not leading you out, it's leading you deeper in. Keep that in mind if you ever find yourself near Moonville Tunnel after dark. Our next stop takes us to Pennsylvania, to a place with a name that should be enough to keep you away, the Hellfire Caves. These weren't just any old caves. They were dug out in the 1700s for the secret, underground gatherings of the Hellfire Club. And trust me, this wasn't your average book club. The group was rumored to dabble in occult rituals, hidden far from the public eye. And trust me, this wasn't your average book club, okay? The Hellfire Club was rumored to be all about occult rituals, tucked away from the prying eyes of the world. If you were to step inside, you'd be hit with a vibe that's just downright chilling. Old murals of hooded figures and bizarre symbols still cling to the walls. Their meanings totally lost to time, leaving you wondering what secrets they hold. Some chambers are so deep underground that the air feels thick, almost alive, like it's pressing down on you, making it hard to breathe. Ghost hunters who dared to venture in have caught recordings of this low rhythmic chanting in a language that's completely unknown. Can you imagine that echoing through the dark tunnels? Visitors have even reported feeling a shove toward ledges by unseen hands, which is just terrifying. But here's the kicker. Tour guides say there's one tunnel that was bricked up decades ago. Yet, on certain nights, a deep knocking resonates from behind that wall. What do you think is trying to get out? Finally, we come to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. It's a popular tourist spot, but it hides a dark history. In 1925, an explorer named Floyd Collins became trapped during an expedition. A rockfall pinned him inside a narrow shaft, and rescuers tried for 14 agonizing days to free him. In the end, they failed. Floyd died alone in the darkness, waiting for a rescue that came too late. But some say Floyd never left. Rangers have reported spotting a shadowy figure kneeling and digging at the rock, always in the same spot where Floyd's body was found. Tourists hear faint tapping coming from sealed-off passages, as if someone's still trying to dig their way out. You won't believe what tourists hear in those dark caves. There's this faint tapping coming from sealed-off passages, like someone's still trying to dig their way out, which is just super eerie, right? One guide even claims he saw this pale man step out from the shadows, tipping his hat like a true gentleman from another time. And then, poof, he vanished right before the guide's eyes. Was it Floyd still roaming the caves he loved, or is something more sinister at play? It's enough to send chills down your spine. So the next time you're out hiking and come across a cave mouth yawning open in the hillside, think twice before you step inside. Because in these dark places, the ghosts of the past are always waiting, and they might just be looking for company. Remember, if you enjoyed this spine-chilling journey through America's most haunted caves, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss our next video, where we'll be exploring abandoned asylums that'll make these caves look like a walk in the park. Until then, sleep tight. And maybe leave a light on.